Well, howdy, folks. Jason Perry, aka Old Country, from ICAST Enterprises. Now, you're probably saying, okay, here comes Old Country again. If you've been around the channel very long, you realize a lot of people have kind of nicknamed Old Country as the failure to launch. And, let's be honest, folks, I did start this channel a couple of years ago, and I've not done a lot with it. And, there's a lot of reasons behind that. I took full time employment temporarily for a while. I've been doing some contract labor with multiple different companies. I've been involved with several different ventures, many of which are not for profits and startups, and we're just trying to get things rolling. So, I kind of fell by the wayside with my goals and my aspirations here at ICAST Enterprises. And anybody that's not aware, ICAST Enterprises stands for International Creators Achieving Success Together. So even though I've been behind the scenes working with people from all over the world and working on different projects like the Noverse project for bringing education worldwide and democratizing knowledge, be more than happy to give you some information on that. Matter of fact, the link will be in the description below the video. Uh, I've been working with several groups. I'm involved with a international AI working group, and that's where we're discovering all the benefits of AI technologies, artificial intelligence, and how it can be applied for our daily lives in all different aspects. So whether that's just your personal life, your family life, your business life, education, artificial intelligence is huge. And I'm actually launching a simultaneously as I'm coming back here with ICAST Enterprises, I'm simultaneously launching howweai.com. And so How We AI is basically me, Jason Perry, aka Old Country, learning and figuring out how can I apply artificial intelligence and using large language models and other AI technologies to start a company from scratch. How can it help with ICAST Enterprises? But what I'm going to be doing is a case study of saying, all right, here's Old Country starting yet another business from scratch, which is howweai.com, and starting another YouTube channel, another social media platform and marketing campaign. But I'm going to start using large language models, starting with just the basics of Chat GPT, and figuring out how do I launch a business using large language models as counsel, mentors, business partners, C-suite, and the like. So that will be a fun journey. I invite you to come over and see how that progress is going. But basically, again, ICAST Enterprises has been kind of on hold, on the back burner. And in some ways, I regret that decision, but other ways, it just wasn't time. And so now is the time. Now's the time to finally bring ICAST Enterprises to the forefront. And so, international creators achieving success here on this channel and other parts of the platform, the website, the blog, we will be bringing information about how individuals, no matter what you're trying to do, anything that you're creatively trying to accomplish, we're going to be giving you information of how can you bring that to the community, how can you bring that to your ideal customer or your ideal community member. And so this is going to cover a gauntlet of things. It's not necessarily all about being online, being a content creator, being a live streamer, YouTube channel. Not everybody wants to do that. That doesn't fit in everybody's wheelhouse. However, you're here, you're viewing this video. Is it perfect? Absolutely not. That's another thing. Old Country's not going to try to be perfect. I could wait till I got an upgraded camera. I could wait till I get my OBS right. You know, those of you that have some experience in the industry, you realize I'm sitting in front of a green screen right now. And one of the key giveaways is this little bit of a glow around this hat and that green on my shirt. Is it perfect? No. I'll get it better. I've set this up rapidly because I just wanted to get a video out and get started. So basically what I'm going to do, and one of the things, I'll actually jump over here to another monitor. Now I'm down here in the corner. And so again, right now I still just have a black background. And I'll give you a quick rundown. So what I'm using right now is OBS, Open Broadcast System. And if I click on right now and open my main screen, this is the screen I'm looking directly at. And again, I'm not looking through a teleprompter. You'll notice my eyes are down a little bit. Doesn't really matter. I'm just giving this explanation because, you know, a lot of people take too much interest. I got to get it perfect. I got to get this. I got to get that. One of the things that's kind of bugging me is I've got one really dark shadow under here. So I need a little bit of an uplight. Doesn't matter. Again, these are things that we're going to work on together to make not only my presence a little more professional, but as I learn, I'll share those with you. The tips that I figure out, I'll share with you. That's part of the community. We're going to have people who specialize in this, and I'll interview them and I'll find out, okay, how do you put your best foot forward when you're doing this? Doesn't mean wait till everything's perfect to get it started. You know, one of my mentors, Doc Rock, you know, he's always saying, you know, quit trying to be perfect, just get out there and do it. And you know, another thing that Doc has a saying is basically, you know, you've got excuses, your excuses are valid, now what? And so again, I could make every kind of excuse in the world of why not to put this video out, but I'm not going to worry about it unless I really make a mistake. And if I do make a mistake, guess what? I'll do a little bit of editing. But up until that point, this is going out. It's going to my channel. It's a start. And so what you're looking at right now, I call it an infinity screen. There might be a better word for that. But because I'm looking at my viewfinder or my view on OBS, it's basically parallaxing and going basically to an infinity screen. And so, you know, I can toggle that off. I'm back to this screen. And so what I'm actually using OBS and a little $40 camera. I literally have a Vivitar 4K camera. It's a cheap knockoff camera that literally costs $41. And so that's why this isn't a perfect picture. Of course, even if I had a $10,000 camera looking at Old Country, it's not going to be a perfect picture. So maybe some of it is a blessing that I've got a cheaper camera. However, we'll get back. I digress. And for those of y'all that don't know me, another reason that I have procrastinated as much as I have is I have been, let me rephrase that. I used to be a serial procrastinator. And I do have ADHD. I will definitely go off chasing rabbits when I was supposed to be squirrel hunting, and you'll learn that about me. But at the same time, you know, you've got excuses. Your excuses are valid. Now what? And so here I am. You know, I'm going to stop procrastinating. I have stopped procrastinating. And so what I'm going to do now is jump over to another window, and we've got this screen right here. One of the reasons that I'm here today is I have recently taken a genius test. Now you might say, okay, Old Country, you've lost it. Why in the world are you talking about genius? Let me shrink myself down just a little bit more here and get out of the way. And so, you know, if you think about this, Einstein once said, everyone is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it's stupid. Let that sink in for just a minute. You know, a fish in the water is an absolute genius. It can do anything it needs to do. But as soon as you take it out of the water and tell it to climb a tree, It's an absolute loss. It's not going to do anything. And so it will go through its life thinking that it's stupid. So let's come over here for just a minute. And basically what I did was took this test, and it's a simple test. I know a lot of people, there's probably people like, oh, I've taken those tests before, et cetera, et cetera. Matter of fact, now I gave them kudos a minute ago. Doc Rock, he says he won't take this test because he believes it makes you judge yourself. And that's okay. Each to their own. I'm going to challenge Doc to at least go take the test and take a look at it and see if maybe it's a little bit different. Because here's the thing, it's lit a fire under Old Country. So basically I took this test and I found out I'm a blaze genius. Now, what does that mean? I'll go through all this in the future. I'm not getting into major details, but there's 4 different types. You got blaze, you got dynamo, you got steel, and you got tempo. And so mine is that I'm a blaze. And one of the things that I found out because of this, obviously, now this hits spot on. Old Country, he kind of resonates with this. I love people, but get distracted quickly. Icons like Marilyn Monroe, Oprah, Donald Trump share this genius. This genius includes famous leaders like Bill Clinton, Jack Welch. It includes social connectors like Ellen DeGeneres and Larry King. Blaze is summer energy. All of these people focused on their strengths and leadership and connections. They ignored those who criticized them for not focusing on the numbers or not planning enough. They never worry that they change focus often. This is true. Or don't like being stuck in an office. This is true. They just got out there to make a difference through people with fun and variety because they were best at answering the question, who? And so, what I'm going to do here is just stop because I'm not going to try on this video to go all through this. But as you can see, this is a pretty good program and feedback on a little test that took me all of 5 minutes to fill out. And it's given me a lot of really valuable information as far as exactly what it is that I need to be focusing on. Because folks, let me just tell you, I am not a super sophisticated individual, if you've not figured that out yet. Now, some people see me playing with OBS and they see me jumping in here and jumping in there and they're like, Jason, you shortchange yourself. And I do. I have been guilty of shortchanging myself. Have I created a few talents that not the average person has? Maybe, for sure. But in reality, I am not an organized person. If I pull this green screen from behind me or turn this camera around in any direction in this room, you'll realize, woo, Old Country is definitely not organized. If I pointed it down at this desk, which I literally took the initiative to clean up 2 days ago, and it's already a mess. Folks, my superpower is not being organized. My superpower is not keeping everybody else organized. It's not coming up with the technicalities of what I need to do for a project. What my superpower is what I'm doing right now. I'm not the best speaker. Don't get me wrong. I'm not the most elegant speaker. I don't have the prettiest face to be in front of this camera. A lot of people's told me I've got the face for radio. Let that one sink in for just a second. Yeah, they love me, don't they? But what I'm not afraid to do is get here and talk to you. What I'm not afraid to do is get in front of you and make a mistake. I'm sitting here thinking right now, and more than likely my phone's probably going to ring. Something's going to happen. You've done heard a couple of messages come through. It doesn't matter. I'm not here for perfection. I'm here to help you figure out how you can be more creative and put your content online in whatever way you're comfortable with. Not everybody's going to want to jump in here and talk in front of a camera. Let me show you how, as an example, instead of worrying about that, maybe you just go ahead and turn off that virtual camera And now when you're over here going through this, nobody has to see you, but you've got expertise that you can share with someone, and you yourself will be able to share it. And then as you get a little more comfortable, you can jump in front of the screen. If you never jump in front of the screen, that's fine, as long as you get your creative message out to the public. And that's what we're going to start working on. So folks, one of the things as far as the Genius test did for me is it put in perspective, I don't need to be all the other things. Now, I've got a little bit of all four in me, and so does anybody else. I'm more geared toward the Blaze Genius, but I also have a lot of Dynamo. And I know right now you may be saying, "Oh, country, I know you normally speak a weird dialect of English, but right now you're speaking a totally different language than I even understand," and that's fine. And so what I do invite you, and so as we get started, I'm going to invite you, there will be a link down below, and I invite you to reach out to me and ask for your free Genius test. And I'll provide a link for you. We'll get you set up to where you can go. Literally takes less than 5 minutes. It's less than 10 questions, but those few questions will get you a report like what you just saw, and it will give you the feedback on which quadrant you excel in. And then what we can do is have either a one-to-one or a group conversation. I'm going to start opening up a Zoom room every week, and we're going to have conversations about what are the four quadrants, how do you fit in, how do you use what you learn to benefit yourself and start working in your quadrant so that you get into the flow instead of constantly going against the waves. And so, I liken it to the fact that just up until the last couple of weeks, I was swimming upstream. I was going against the current. And now I figured out I can just ease my way down the stream and be a lot more productive in what I do on a daily basis. And now I'm also finding other individuals that make up the other quadrants, and working together, we're accomplishing a lot more. If you're a steel, which my wife is a steel, instead of me trying to do the type of work that she's great at, why not let her do that work? She can't stand trying to do what I'm doing right now, and so let me do that. And that just helps us work together better. It's already helping with our relationship, with our marriage, and at the same time helping with our business. Because instead of me worrying about all the technical stuff that makes my head spin, I'll let her work on that while I get out and do what I'm good at. And so folks, I'm going to go ahead and shut this down for now. We're coming up on 20 minutes, 18 and a half minutes. And so what I invite you to do, please, if you see that there's any possibility you're going to get value out of Old Country and ICAST Enterprises, then make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Click the little bell so that as I do put more footage out here, when I put more videos or I go live, you'll get the notification. And I invite you to come and be part of the community. Put some comments below this video and let me know what you think about it. And I'm good. Folks, I got thick skin. Number one, if you're a troll, if you don't know what a troll is, then you're not a troll. But if you're a troll and you just want to cause ruckus and this, that, and the other, go for it. As long as it's not extremely vulgar, as long as it's not extremely just bad, I don't care. I got thick skin. You want to talk about how my hat's crooked? You want to talk about how I need a few more teeth in my head? You want to talk about, I should have shaved? I'm okay with that. Because Old Country, one thing you're going to find out in this community, I'm not trying to be perfect. I'll try to speak a little more proper English. I won't use ain't as much as I normally do. I will say y'all on a regular basis. You know, you're not going to take country out of country. But I'm also real. I'm here to try to help you get to where you want to get. Now, I'll be the first to admit, I don't have all the answers. I always joke and say if I don't have the answer and I can't find somebody that does, I'll make something up. But in reality, if I don't know the answer, I'll admit it and we'll find somebody that does. And then we'll learn together. And then there's two of us that can teach someone else. And that's what we're all about. You know, I mentioned Noverse, and you can find Noverse at noverse.info, and that's KNOW verse, VERSE.info. And go on and learn a little bit about that and see exactly what it is that's all about. But folks, I invite you to come back and be with us. Now, you probably just saw a line come across here, and I could say, well, I got to go back and reshoot that. But that was just my lovely wife bringing me a bowl of oatmeal, and she stepped in front of the green screen. So we won't worry about it. We're still going to put this video out, and we're going to share it with the world. I invite you to come on board with us. Meet us over on other social medias, meet us here, wherever you're comfortable with, and let's get together. And as ICAST stands for, International Creators Achieving Success Together. Let's figure it out together and let's have some fun. And I invite you to also share in the fun with the launching of How We AI. Have a great one, folks.